In relation to the building, how do you control the quality of the work?
You control the quality?
Yes, as a owner.
Well, I don't think, if I go back to one of the slides there, well, you can actually find out what quality control process they have in place. But the simple answer is when the builder completes a stage, the bank will send the valuer to come out and value it. So it's not really you, because see, if you're getting funding, if you're getting bank to put the money in, they have more at risk than you. So if I'm the bank, I'll lend you say 80%, 90% of the construction, right? And the builder says I finished a certain stage. Now it is in my interest to make sure that he's completed to the right standard, because I'm going to pay him the money, not you. So the less you get involved, the better. Actually, you let the bank's valuer to go out and make sure. And then usually the bank will send a valuer who's quite experienced. He will go check and then say to the bank, release the money. But if you get involved, I'm not sure. But do you have a bad experience, or what was the question?
No, because ultimately the property belongs to you. So you want to take control, and then you want to not only rely on builder or the bank, because even when you borrow money from bank would have the security over it. So the worst comes to the worst, bank would have your security, and then you are the biggest loser.
Right.
So it is in owner's interest to make sure you actually have the quality product that you requested presented to you. That's my argument.
But I mean, at what stage would you get involved? Would you go and inspect the slab, because you wouldn't know what you're looking at, because
Yeah,
it's just concrete and some reinforced.
I guess
if you look at the frame,
yeah,
you're still not going to know.
I guess what I ask is how.
At the end?
As an owner, how do you sort of like employ quality control
You
system
can engage
yourself?
Okay, you can engage an independent building surveyor to come, what they call it, the PCI, which is like the final inspection before you take. Finally, you sign off. You can get an independent person to come and assist you. Because if you get involved yourself, you wouldn't know. It's always better to get an independent person who is a building surveyor at the final stage, which is the practical, PCI stands for practical completion. So at the practical completion, the builder will invite you to come and just inspect it and sign off. So at that stage, I would suggest that you get an independent building surveyor or a builder who will come with you and will go right throughout the house and actually note the things and sign off, or say, no, you have to rectify it or not. But trying to do it yourself is quite difficult, because there could be things that you might not even understand.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
With how things are changing in the world today, we've got cameras now, and I think it's going to come to the day when there's a camera mounted on site so owners can see what's actually happening on a day-to-day basis. So the way the industry is going is that might actually take place.
Yeah. Well, in this particular case, this particular builder insists that the supervisor takes the pictures and uploads it onto the server.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But the camera also actually security on site too.
Yeah. It's for security, for theft, for any problems. Yeah, obviously that's something I consider doing it myself as well.
I'll be looking to do it myself
Yeah.
on the next
Well, when
project.
I do the next project, I
Yeah.
have the cameras, because you can see at any time what's going on.
But also in my thoughts and my opinion is that if the project is a concern and the dollar value is there in the project, then it is best to get an inspection prior to any stage payment being made. So at every stage, an inspection should take place. It does cost, but
But you already have it, because see, if you go with the council, they will have the council inspector or the building surveyor that will come and inspect it.
True.
Like
But
the
he has
frame
to be
inspection.
competent. A lot of people that come out and inspect are not competent. Being private, they're not competent, unfortunately. That's just the way the industry is.
Yeah, well, I've seen some people that drive past, they just with the slab they drive past here, that's done, instead of going out and just measuring and making sure.
I can only tell you what I've seen in practice, and I've had people where I said I don't want them on site inspecting my projects at all.
But it then comes back to the builder as well, because the builder's got the responsibility to make sure that the stage is complete, according to
He
the
has the
specification.
responsibility, but whether he completes it to a given standard is a different issue.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying. So if it's a large, substantial
yeah.
builder, they will do it
True,
because
true.
they got too much to lose. They
True,
got the brand,
absolutely.
they spend millions of dollars advertising, they're on TV, and the last thing they want is to be on current affairs saying, the driveway is 2.5 meters and you can't drive a car
Very
through
true,
it.
very true.
Sorry, Armin, does your company put investors, hook them up with builders? Or is your company an IT company? What do you do?
The main focus of the company is assisting people with getting building permits.
Okay.
So if you've got a block of land, you're thinking of buying a block of land and developing it, we'll assist you. We've got architects and town planners working for the company. We'll come up with solutions to do that. I'll also develop some software that will quickly let you do some feasibility studies, so you can see, should I put 2 units here or 3 units here, and depending on what the selling price is, you can quickly see what the profitability is. Because at the end of the day, if you go to the bank, they'll be looking at least 30% margin to give you any money for construction. And lastly, we can recommend builders because I have done work for some of the large builders that we have relationships with to make sure that although on the surface, if you get a small builder, he might give you a price that is $10,000 or $20,000 cheaper than say the large guy. But you should really think twice because if it gets delayed by a month or 2 or 3 or 6 months, that $10,000 or $20,000 is nothing compared to what it will cost you, if it gets delayed by 6 months. But yes, we can recommend some builders that we dealt with before.
I'm a little bit stuck. I own a portfolio of properties, and I want to start doing small subdivisions, primarily in the Bentley or Altona areas, and I don't want to buy 700, 800 square metres to just cut it in half. I'm a little bit chicken and egg. I don't know if what I'm looking for, what I'm buying.
Speak to Tim. Tim
So
Hyde
I
is
feel
our general
like I
manager.
need someone to say, buy 650 square metres, we're going to build 3 units, and you're going to sell them for this. And don't pay more than this when you buy it, or something like that. I need.
Well, go onto our website.
Formula.
Or go www.feasibility.report.com.au.
Yeah.
And you just put in the demo, and you can actually put in this 3 or 4 parameters you put in.
Oh, okay.
You said this is how much I'm going to spend for the land. This is what my expected sale price is for each unit, and this is how many units I'm going to build, and approximately the size of each unit, and it quickly tells you, gives you a good workout.
So it's just smart property.
It's www.feasreport.com.au.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's actually developed for a smartphone, for Apple, or any smartphone.
Was it in the back? Oh, I might have seen that actually.
Feasreport.com.au.
Yeah.
And then you go on as demo, and then if you have any issues, any problems, let me know. And
Thank you.
yeah, that's what you should come up with.
Oh, good.
You just put in.
Yeah, no, I've got that. I wrote the right spelling
Yeah.
as well.
And it gives you all the breakdown of what the costs are.
Yeah.
Because some people say, look, the block of land is $700,000, and I'm going to spent $500,000 building it and now sell it at $700,000 with this profit. You got the stamp duty, you got the holding costs, you got the mortgage payments, you got the architecture, you got the contingencies, you got all sorts of land tax, you got, so by the time you put it all together, and that particular piece of software will actually tell you that, all the boxes are ticked. But if you've got, for property investors as well, because, some people will buy a property, rent it out and look for another one, we suggest that have a look at your portfolio. Maybe there's some there that can be developed. If it's an old house, you can demolish it, put 2 on. Instead of buying something new, all of a sudden you've got 2 new units, you can rent it out, instead of buying something else. So you can utilize your portfolio better. And that's something we specialize in. We can help. Yes?
So during the construction stage, if any accidents happens, does the owner has any responsibility?
Accident, you mean what?
Accident maybe happen to the building or to the people who's working there by natural or some other accidents, just.
Oh, the builder will have, there's two insurances here. One is what they call the home warranty, so this is you insured, so if the builder goes bust, you can't continue. You go to building commission, they will appoint another builder to finish it. Because this came about, a lot of builders would just take your money and then just run. So the government has come up with a legislation to make sure that there's a warranty, it's homeowner's warranty it's called. So if the builder goes bankrupt, he can't continue, they will appoint another builder to continue. And the same is the construction insurance. If anything, there's public liability in case of any accidents on site, theft, whatever. So that's the construction insurance. And if the builder doesn't have that, I don't think they'll let him continue building. The banks will insist on that, and the government will, the banks will insist on the insurance, the construction insurance, and the government legislation will insist on the homeowner's warranty. So you're covered. But you as a owner, you shouldn't worry about that.
I think there's confusion, and I might be wrong, but I heard it from your question as well. I think from your side, all the work you do is with the registered builder.
That's
so
right.
we choose a builder, that comes with plans, that comes with a whole team of people.
No, you can go with your architectural plans.
But what I'm saying is I think this lady and this man, and maybe this man as well, are talking from a perspective as an owner builder, where you're on site most of the time, you hire the plumber, you hire the bricklayer, you hire the whatever, and then you do need your own insurances and you take a risk yourself. But there's sort of 2 ways to be a developer, isn't there? A small developer.
If you do as an owner builder, well, sometimes it's a good idea, but I'd never do it.
Yeah.
Because you think you're going to save a lot of money by being,
But
just
what I'm saying is that if you were, I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about, but if you are an owner builder, you do have to be there and say that's not good enough, you do it again.
then you're acting as the builder,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Because the name implies that you
And
are
if-
the builder.
Then, yeah.
It's in the way that I take more responsibility on the end product. I'm not going to be the owner builder, but regardless whether you are investing, or, like you develop it for to sell, or you develop it for yourself, you still want to get a great quality product to achieve the better results.
Then engage an independent.
in the painting and
Exactly.
how things
That's
are
why
set up,
I'm not
absolutely.
here. Yeah, that's why I'm concerned.
Then I would suggest you engage an independent person to come and help you.
Can I make a comment about the owner builder?
Yeah, sure, and then I'll make another comment after that.
Sure, why not? One of the dangers of being an owner builder is you might go through the whole process and get your certificate of occupancy
At the end.
at the end, and then you might rent it out. But come when you want to sell it, you cannot sell it till you get a warranty insurance, which somebody has to come and inspect. Now, if aspects of your construction doesn't comply or meet standards, they will make you rectify it before they issue you with, they'll give you a defects notice. So if you don't rectify it, you cannot sell. So that's a cost factor you have to think of at the end.
Yeah, the bottom line is being on a bill is very
It's
risky.
not worth it.
It's very risky, because you think you're going to save money, but you don't have the buying power. You don't have the this range of trades that you can call on any time. So these large builders, they have like bricklayers, they have carpenters, they have painters that they've established over the years. They know how to operate. If you're not a builder, you don't have any of that. How do you get a painter? What, you advertise and somebody comes in and they paint halfway through, and it could cause all sorts of problems.
I know, I don't want to be.
And if people think,
look at me.
and if people think being on a builder, unless you're a tradesman of some sort, like if you're a carpenter yourself, or if you're a painter yourself, or you're a plumber, maybe because if you go to a builder and say, I want to do the plumbing, they won't let you. Then maybe you can consider being on a builder, because you've got to do a certain section of the build or the construction. But even that's risky, because then you're limited to how many houses you can do, because you can only do so many. So I've seen a lot of owner builders, they build one under their name, one under their wife's name, another one under their grandmother's name, their mother-in-law's name. It's better to just concentrate, just focus. I mean, if you're a property developer, if you're an investor, just concentrate on finding the next site, get a builder to build it, get your equity out, move on to the next one. Because the idea is to build your portfolio. That's the idea. The quicker you build your portfolio, the quicker you get your financial independence. If you get stuck with being on a builder, counting bricks and worrying about calling the concrete company and saying, so wrong cement was delivered on site, you'll never do another project. I can assure you. It'll be your first and last project you ever do. Because it's so complicated, so many things can go wrong. You finish that and say, I wish I'd never done it, and then just move on to something else. But if you want to do it on a basis that you want to build up a portfolio to get your financial freedom, let the professionals handle it. Pay them the $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000. If you look at some of our feasibilities, sometimes you get up to 100% return on the cash you put in, simply by, if you put in 30 to 40%, 30 to 35% of the cash, borrow the rest from the bank, you can, return on your cash could be up to 100%. Why would you bother becoming an owner builder? That's the question.
I'm not. I just think that people get confused with the two.
Yeah.
Owner builders are not geared emotionally to run that, because it's a roller coaster. Builders run at an even level. And the unseen damage is the damage in the marriage or in relationships. That's the unseen, and it's a very heavy cost to pay.
Yeah, you get too attached. Whereas a professional who doesn't care, it's just a job. Any other questions? So we're going from becoming a multi-millionaire to having marital problems. Any other questions? Well, I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I would encourage you just to help yourself to some more drinks. Just introduce yourself, and maybe you can find somebody that you can collaborate and do another project together, because the idea of the group is to bring the people together with and Tim Hine is there. He can help you with any questions to do with town planning.